I'm Alma Lee. I'm a psychotherapist and transformative lifestyle resiliency coach and author, and I want to help you reach your goals by teaching you how to step outside of those fear-based mindsets and into your powerful, loving self. Let's get started. You want to know how I know that you are healing and growing in your journey towards wellness and doing better in your life? I know that you are. You know how I know? Because you're here. You saw the title of this episode and you clicked on it anyway. You willfully took time out of your day to learn more about what it means to be criticized, why it hurts to experience criticism, and you're open to learning and growing from that. That is a huge marker of your own focus on yourself, your healing journey. You're doing the work. And I'm just here virtually patting you on the back and saying, good job. That's a good job. It's not easy being criticized, ever. And even, I wonder what's worse, being criticized for something that you did or being accused of something or criticized for something that you don't agree with, which is more insulting or hurtful. It's hard to say because it just sucks all the way around to have somebody tell you that you screwed up. You screwed up or you're doing something incorrectly. And often our immediate knee-jerk is to go into a defensive mode, especially if this person or experience or whatever is always there to remind us of our shortcomings. Nobody wants to be reminded of our failures, of our weak spots, of our areas of improvement, all of those things. Nobody likes that. We are all wanting to do a good job, at least subconsciously anyway. But let's talk about it. And on the other end of this, I would like to encourage and inspire you to look at criticism from maybe a different perspective. Okay. Well, first of all, let's talk about why it sucks, why it's painful. So I had a friend of mine, a friend that I've been friends with for a long, long time. And she didn't come across as intentionally criticizing me or critiquing, but she did share with me how I said something that made her feel bad. It just made her feel bad. And obviously my intention behind it was not to hurt my friend. I'd never want to hurt my friend, but she clearly communicated with me that what I said made her feel, some type of way. And I can honestly say, sitting here and thinking about that there's a level of shame that comes from knowing that you've hurt someone that you care about. And the last thing in the world, especially when this is a person that all you want to do is support, encourage, and be a friend to, and then they come around and they say, hey, you screwed up. You said something. You did this. It made me feel this way. There's just this blanket of shame that comes from that. But let's talk about it. And let's understand the underpinnings of those defensive responses, those triggered responses, if you will. Now, I can sit here and I can say that my own feelings, the emotions that came from that were feelings of, it was actually a combination of, did I actually do anything wrong? There was that defensive query that came to the surface. I didn't mean anything, so why is she upset with me, or why does she feel this way? To invalidate the other person. Well, she shouldn't feel that way because I didn't mean it that way. That can be very invalidating, and that can be harmful in any relationship, whether it's a friendship, a romantic partnership, coworker, whatever. It's important to understand the nuance underneath the criticism and to take it at face value and to understand it and to make adjustments necessary. And to not allow yourself to be injured from that, as opposed to looking at it as an opportunity for your expansive growth and for more self-awareness. Now, going back into the comment that I made, it was the comment that I made it, really didn't give a whole lot of thought to it, but I made it with the intention of encouraging her to stand in her own power. And it's not important what I said as much as it's important how it made her feel. Because her response to me was basically, hey, I can't do life the way you do. basically is what she had to say. And my comment to her, I think she interpreted that as me saying, well, you shouldn't care about the things you care about. And that was not my intention, but it was how she took it. And she had a right to feel the way she did. First of all, I love this person. I respect her deeply. And her critique of me was warranted. Did I mean to cause harm? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Did I feel defensive when she sent me the message? Yeah, a little bit. I'm being honest. I did. I felt like, well, that's not what I meant. But I could have responded to her defensively and said, well, that's not what I meant. I don't know why you took it that way, which is what a lot of us do. And I want to encourage you to maybe be more mindful in your response to someone who is critiquing you. It takes an enormous amount of healing. It takes an enormous amount of personal growth to sit with someone's comment about us. So, for instance, think about the last time someone criticized you. Now, it could be somebody that cannot stand you. It could be a neighbor. It could be a coworker. It could be a partner. It could be anybody that you know who insults you or criticizes you or says, oh man, you always do this wrong, or why do you always keep doing this? Part of your growth comes from assessing these individual situations to better understand your own motives. Are you being bitter? Are you intentionally trying to cause harm? Are you intentionally operating in a low vibrational space because you want to kind of get back because this person's always complaining? Or are you actively seeking an opportunity to say, you know what? I know this person is just looking for a problem. Maybe it's a neighbor that's always complaining about where you park or where you put your trash can or whatever. Maybe consider an exercise of moving the trash can or parking in a different space and giving that person what they want and then watching what happens. And then maybe they find something else to complain about. And then you have your answer, right? Then you know that this person is just looking for things to create chaos and discontent. And then you know how you can respond to that person. As opposed to maybe a loved one who is always telling you and asking you, can you please leave your shoes outside before walking into the kitchen? Can you please put the scissors back in the drawer so that I don't have to look everywhere for them when I need to open something? It saves me so much time and anxiety. And when you put things back where you know that I know to find them, it says to me through your actions that you actually give a damn. You care about me. Being criticized for not doing something correctly by a loved one, it's hard to move out of that defensive posture. It's hard to not take it as somebody just trying to make you feel bad about yourself. But I encourage you to assess criticism from a mindful space, an opportunity for learning and for growth. And yes, absolutely. Sometimes when people complain and they critique you and criticize you, they're only doing it for a reaction. They're only doing it because they want to cause harm and foul. But that's not always the case. And it is vital that we use discernment in understanding the difference between the two. So the next time someone criticizes you, just ask the question, does this person give a damn about me? And maybe that digs into a deeper issue, because if it's your spouse, and you ask that question and you honestly answer it, no, then you got other issues to consider, And I would even kind of go one step further on that to say, if that's the case, if you're partnered with someone that you really truly believe does not care about you, it's okay. It's just an opportunity for you to stop denying your truth and to move forward in a healing space and to make decisions that are beneficial for you as you move forward, because nobody needs to live in that space of not being appreciated and somebody doesn't care about you and they're only, accessing your emotional energy, your physical energy, your sexual energy. And the only reason that they're there is because you benefit their life in some way. You see, critique and criticism kind of forces you to have these internal conversations with yourself so that you can either delude yourself and continue down that space, or you can offer the opportunity to really open up to what your truth is. Because when you offer yourself an opportunity to really be honest with yourself, then that's where change happens. And change, I get it. Change, the unfamiliar is scary. Moving into a future that wasn't planned. Making decisions that are beneficial for you, but it wasn't something that was in the cards maybe necessarily. You didn't see yourself getting divorced at 50. You didn't see yourself as losing your job because you stood up to a problematic coworker or harassment. Champion yourself in the face of adversity is hard. And a lot of times when we're faced with criticism from other people and we're already in that headspace, the last thing in the world we want is to hear how we've failed other people. So a lot of times that's what criticism shows up as, is you've failed me. And so what we interpret is, yeah, I know, because on a subconscious level, I have unhealed trauma and I feel like a failure anyway. I already have so much shame attached to my unhealed, wounded inner child that feels ashamed, that feels unworthy, that I can't hold space for your criticism. So the only thing that I can do is deflect and defend. The only thing that I can do is to reattack you and criticize you to teach you a lesson so that you don't do that to me again, because I'm unhealed. Because it's easier rather for me to point the finger at you and say, you're the problem, not me. I'm just trying to survive. You're making my situation worse by shining a light on the things that I know I'm already wrong at. Yeah. I've been there. And it's an interesting evolution when you can get to a safe space where you can do that deep breath work. That's why meditation is so critical. When you knock out the noise, the periphery, all of the chaos that's going on around us day in and day out that we use to keep ourselves distracted from the pain that we're holding deep down inside of ourselves that we're not addressing. When you meditate, you find the clarity. You understand that you can hold space for someone's criticism. And you can say, you know what? I did do that thing. Now, I didn't mean to hurt that person by saying what I said. I really didn't. But I can also appreciate that I did hurt them. My words hurt them. And that it's more about where they're at when they heard what I said. Right or wrong, it hurt them. And do I care about this person enough to step outside of my ego and say, you know what? I apologize. Your feelings matter to me. And we can't guarantee that we're not going to hurt other people. In fact, we will always hurt the people that are around us unintentionally. It's just a part of being a human. But that's the underpinnings of these relationships that we have to cultivate if we want to have anything that's fruitful and healthy and reciprocal and understanding. And did I say healthy? I think I said healthy. Healthy. I said it. It's important to hold space. Just to hold space. Right or wrong, it doesn't really matter so much whether or not your intentions were to hurt or not to hurt someone. It's how they received it. And then when they criticize you for your actions, it's important to say, listen, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. I didn't mean to cause, pain for you. I didn't mean to, be disconnected. It puts you in a space of accountability, because then you have to be self-aware enough to say, I need to watch what I say. I need to watch what I do. I need to understand that this person is criticizing me for a reason. And I need to step outside of my own wounds long enough to say, you know what? This is like the third time that my wife has told me to move the scissors back to where she needs them. She's the one who uses them the most. I take them out, I use them and leave them wherever I've used them. And then she's frustrated with me because she's spent 5 to 10 minutes looking for them in the kitchen before asking me where they are. And then I produce them, and then she's pissed off because we've already had this argument before, and then I get defensive because I think that she's overreacting, when in reality, it's not about the scissors at all. It's not. It never was. It's about, you don't care about me enough to listen to me when I tell you that it matters that if I go into the kitchen and I need to find the scissors, that they're where I put them. And they're in their rightful space. Because when you take them out and you use them and you will leave them where you've used them, your actions indicate that I don't matter enough to make the effort to put them back. And that's what it is. It's not about scissors at all. It's about effort. It's about paying attention. It's about self-awareness. It's about understanding that, when you're interacting with other people and you're sharing space, whether it's a home, it's work, is that you have to be careful and mindful and understand that, albeit unintentionally, you will hurt other people, and that you have to be open enough and receptive to receive criticism, and to be thoughtful enough to think about it and use discernment on whether or not, is this something that I can effectively make an effort to change? And do I think that this person really cares about me? Or is this person just trying to create hate and discontent? Because either way, you're going to have some kind of resolution and understanding the dynamics of that relationship. Did they think enough of you in order to step into the potential of an argument by saying, hey, you hurt me when you did what you did, and I care enough about our relationship to communicate clearly with you so that we can resolve this, as opposed to having quiet resentment building between us? Or maybe it's just somebody at work that's just a miserable old cow that has so much pain that all they do is see what's wrong with other people as a means of protecting themselves by calling attention to other people's, inadequacies. And that's a chronic thing on their part. Because even then, when you use discernment and you understand that that's that person, and that's that coworker that's always looking for something to target and attack, you can call attention to that with HR, or even having a conversation. Look, if it's not productive, don't talk to me. And that's about enforcing healthy boundaries. But you have to use discernment. And anytime a person criticizes you, anytime a person brings something to your attention and says, hey, I need you to change this. This is how this made me feel when you did this thing. Think about it. Just pump the brakes. Listen, we all do it. We get defensive. We don't like it when people tell us we screwed up. Just pump the brakes. Again, that's that meditation. That's that mindful awareness, is to consider, who is this person? Why are they sharing this with me? And damn, I've got something else I need to fix, because this person matters. And even if I feel like the person I care about is overreacting, I can go down that rabbit hole too and still hold space, because I care about how I make that person feel. And that's where that healing, that growth comes from, because your relationships will benefit. Not so much about, you're not abandoning yourself by saying, I'm sorry, even though you don't think you necessarily did anything wrong. You're not abandoning yourself by saying, I apologize that my actions hurt you, even if your intentions were honorable. You didn't mean to hurt that person. It wasn't intentional. But to tell somebody, I'm sorry that what I did hurt you. I'll think better in the future, because your feelings matter. Man, not only do you heal from having those experiences and the self-awareness of it, you learn that it doesn't kill you for somebody to tell you that you screwed up. It just doesn't. It doesn't. It sucks. It sucks, especially when you're still kind of reeling from your pre-existing trauma, and you don't know yourself, and you're going through life just to kind of avoid the pain that you carry around. People say, I can't meditate. I can't meditate. Sure you can. Of course you can. People who say they can't meditate are so used to having chaos as the norm, is that when we try to meditate, it feels so uncomfortable, because the only thing that we can focus on is what's within. And if the only thing that's within is pain and trauma and a lack of self-awareness, of course you're going to be distracted. Of course you're going to have intrusive thoughts. Of course you're going to look for things to distract you so that you don't pay attention to what's going on underneath the surface. There's no judgment. Everybody deserves to heal. The world's a better place when we do. So think about the last time somebody criticized you, and think about how you responded to it. And think about how you can evolve into a higher vibrational entity, a person who is actively concerned with facilitating healthy relationships in their life, who emotionally invests in the people that they care about, as opposed to being defensive whenever that person shares a thought and tells you, hey, that made me feel some kind of way. Because guess what? All humans are fallible. We all screw up. And I guarantee you, you're going to screw up again. And luckily, if you've got people that really care about you, that want to see you improve, well, they'll criticize you. Because most of the time, it's because they care. All right. This has been a Lee Bird Media production. Don't forget to like, share, follow, and subscribe. Thanks for listening.